Josh?
I love you. Piece of shit.
Video. Intro. Stop.
Stop what?
Stop messing with your mustache.
It makes me look older.
Because we dated in like 8th grade, but I broke up with you because I was having problems.
Because you're queer.
Yes.
Alright, so recap. Let's actually start from the beginning. So, I'll do this one because she's kind of dumb. So we didn't initially, we had the same locker and same homeroom, but we didn't really initially meet in math class until right around midterm of the first semester. I eventually did enough time in ISS to complete, and what we did on our online math was called Alex. It was a pie chart that we did to complete certain categories and kind of test our mathematical aptitude. I initially, coming from my elementary school, because we lived 10 miles apart, so I went to a completely different elementary school in my town. Like, my hometown had its own elementary school built right into it. I initially didn't take my 5th grade testing seriously, so I never made it to the most advanced math class, even though I could have, honestly, if I took it seriously, but I didn't. New kid, I moved here from a completely different town, 45 minutes north of here. You know, I was born and raised in northern Indiana. I was not used to this more middle Indiana, because we're getting more down to the central Indiana with like Muncie and Marion and shit like that down south.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of the new kid, so my objective, like, in elementary school was fitting in. So coming to 6th grade, obviously I didn't get into those, the most advanced math class, but I was a piece of shithead and didn't listen to one of my teachers at all and never turned in my homework, so I always got sent to ISS. So I had a lot of time to do Alex just on my own there because I have nothing else to do. And so about when I finally was released from prison, I was brought to the more advanced math class,
Where I was.
Because someone apparently took testing seriously in 5th grade.
I mean, math was always one of like my higher grades when I took like NWEA and all these like ISTEP and all these tests. Math was always like my highest score.
Yeah. So, I think as most people know by now, I'm older. I'm a year older than she is. She's about to be 22 and I'm already 23. So when I moved to this town, I was initially supposed to be in 6th grade. She was in 5th grade at the time when I moved in this town. When I came here, I took a test through the school board because I was a homeschool student before I came here. And before they put me in 5th grade, they wanted to test my just overall general knowledge. And I was tested so high that I was able to skip into the 7th grade. So we would have initially been 2 grades apart off the rip. But because I lacked various social skills, I didn't have any friends going into middle school, I would have been dropped into 7th grade, and no one there with me. So my mom just decided that I would be brought back a grade into 5th grade, so I'd be in elementary school, so I'd have a group of friends to progress through middle school and high school. And so that was the luck of the draw for her, because like I said, if that didn't happen and I actually was able to advance, the chances of us ever really meeting were slim to none at that point.
Yeah, and then like when we did meet in middle school, we were in a lot of things together because we had similar last names. So Josh Wiles, Ashley Weil, we were right next to each other in the alphabet. We had lockers right next to each other.
Yeah, progressively we were just beside each other all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And then like she said, yeah, we did do track together.
I might cut the earlier part of this out because it was a bit rambly, so I might just include this later part. So, yeah, we were in track together. I basically did track because I wanted to hang out with my friends and I just wanted something to do outside of school, because I was faster than all the other kids that didn't do track, but I was slow compared to all the track kids, so I was like in the middle. I wasn't really good at it. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. He, on the other hand, was good at it.
It's good at a lot of things. So my 7th grade year was very, how should I put this, different. So we spent the first half of the year together. Shut the fuck up. So we actually did spend pretty much the first semester together. We were in this pretty much almost all the same classes, I would think, except for our science and language were flipped. Because you were in a higher language than I was.
Yeah.
But then I was in like one of the highest science at that time. So like, so we shared social studies and math together for that first half of the year. And math was like the last, was it? Yeah, it was the last class of the day, wasn't it?
I don't remember my schedule from 7th grade.
Yeah, it was the last class of the day.
Oh yeah, it was because it was the dance one was the last one.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
So yeah, it was the last class of the day. So like I said, the first semester we were together. So nothing really different there, you know, I was choir, she was band, so like we didn't like, outside of those two classes, there was no like, in our locker, there was no like, other formal interaction till the second semester, where I eventually raised enough hell in that school. They kicked me out of middle school and halfway through 7th grade. Instead of entirely expelling me, they just, let me get my drink.
Okay.
So instead of entirely expelling me, they had this program here called the alternative school. It's where they could send wayward students like myself so they can still resume school, but they were separated from the general populace because we were deemed either too erratic, too dangerous, whatever, right? So I spent majority of that first midterm of the second semester there. Now, they've saw based on when I was in gym class that I had an aptitude for sports. I was a naturally athletic person. I was still kind of tall, was a lot more lanky, a lot skinnier. Like I was good at running, at least sprinting. So they offered me a choice to come back for half a day on the later half and do track. So I would come back for after lunch, and I would spend my last few classes back at school. And then I brought us back to being me and her in math class. That math teacher was the reason why I was progressively one of the reasons why I got kicked out.
Was it?
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
I made a mess in her class.
She was a very cold person.
Oh, I was fucking piping that fucking fiddle. I was the Pied Piper at that fucking point. She was no match for me.
No one was.
That's right. That's why I still swear to this day that there's not a single teacher who has forgotten my face or name.
There really isn't. You're basically like a legend.
I am, that's the point. I wanted my name to live on forever, and it shall. And it shall. So, then we met in track. We only did one event together, like where we would practice together when the girls and boys practiced together, which was almost every day, but we were separated in our events and different coaches, and that was long jump.
Yeah.
And that was the only event we did together.
I'd probably be better at that now than I was then.
I might be too.
Yeah.
My natural athletic abilities outshined pretty much everybody, at least when it came to sprinting, except for just, I think, one kid in middle school.
Was it Matt?
Yeah, he was just a bit faster than I was. And so that was pretty much 7th grade. 8th grade was a little crazier. Mrs. didn't like me. So, even though I completed the prerequisite to go to Algebra 1 in 7th grade, which was complete the Alex pie, she refused to submit me up to Algebra 1. I had to go to this teacher and Mr. Gross and tell him like, hey, I completed this table. I was in Algebra 1. Mrs. just refused to have moved me up.
Yeah.
Right? And
Mr. Gross was awesome though.
And so within like 2 days, they had my schedule changed, and I was moved back up to the advanced math class with her again.
For 8th grade.
For 8th grade, which was Algebra 1.
Yeah, Mr. Gross, like, I don't think he knows we're dating, but he plays basketball with my mom, so he occasionally, like, asks about me still to this day. And then, were we gonna mention that we actually, like, kinda dated in 8th grade? It was mostly over text, so it was kinda...
It was that middle school fling everybody has. It's like, there's no... The concept of actually dating somebody in middle school, regardless of 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, is not... It's arbitrary. There's no real dating. You don't...
It's more like just practice dating at that point.
It's petty love. Nobody has... No person in middle school, 12, 13, 14, has a practical understanding of what love really is. We don't even have that into our 20s. Right. We just have a better idea. So, yeah, it was just a petty, like, week. And then
I broke up with you because, like, I thought, like, I'm gay. I also might have an eating disorder. Like...
Yeah.
And I broke up with you because I was like, I can't deal with this. It's not your problems. I'm sorry.
And then, we moved past that, and we get into high school.
I don't remember interacting with you, like, at all in high school. Like, that...
We had email interaction. I think we might have met once. But as far as the one grade that I was in high school for, it was just, like, mostly email.
Yeah.
So...
Because, like, you had access to everyone's email. You didn't have access to, like, everyone's phone. So, in the school, like, you had a database that, like, if you just started typing in someone's name, you can email anyone in the school.
It's just usually your first and your last name and your grade in the grade you were graduating, or the year you were graduating, so 2017.
Yeah, so you could, like, contact anyone.
Yeah. It wasn't hard for me to get a hold of someone whose last name is almost exactly the same as mine. But, and this also had to do with the fact that we took 2 different paths in high school.
Oh, yeah. Like, you were in a completely different part of the school.
So our school is split into technically 2 different schools. You have what we call the traditional and the new tech. She chose the traditional route, where I chose new tech, which is our school is like a project-based learning. So like we're focused on presentations and group projects and whatnot, and it's all based on like using technology for our presentations, right? And using what we have to present, like Google Maps or stuff like that. Any kind of technology to present our project to the class, like. And it also was a really weird structure because it combined classes. So, you've got what we called biotech, which combined our technology class with our biology class. Then you got chemlit, which is our chemistry class and our literature class that were combined together. Mm-hmm. And it was all in this box, this big box, and then like one hallway. And unbeknownst to me, it's where I met her cousin.
Oh, yeah.
He was an Algebra 2 teacher right beside my classroom when I was in Geometry Honors. Mm-hmm. So, I knew him. I've seen him around. He was in on some of my classes here and there. And then, like, after that, her story about her high school is already... because I think that's in the Draw My Life video if you want to know about my high school experience. A lot of her... Not to cut you off.
You're fine. Go ahead.
A lot of this next part's going to be more me.
Yeah, because, like, can I say my part first and then you get into what happened to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically, for high school, I hardly ever saw him because he was in this new part of the school. And then one day, he just, like, dropped off the face of the earth. I think I might have texted you or something, or... Like, I tried to get in contact with him, and he just disappeared. I didn't know what happened to him. No one knows what happened to him. I still, like, he was in graphic design. I would see, like, his art on this one poster, like, around by the graphic design room. And, like, I would walk past it every day and be like, where's Josh? Like, whatever happened to him? And, like, after he disappeared was kind of where my life kind of fell apart. And I started to have a lot of struggles. And, like, best friend disappeared. I had Well, I had a few friends, but they weren't, like, close friends. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't, like, talk to them about my problems. It wasn't like that. And a lot of my problems, I was told by my parents to keep them secret, so I couldn't.
So yeah, and not a lot of people actually knew what happened to me, nor was it projected to anybody. A lot of it was strictly between the higher officials in the school, me and my parents, and those who it most concerned. And sadly, since we weren't talking to her, she wasn't a most concerned. She didn't need to know. I'm a former drug addict. I believe I've mentioned this before.
Do you want me to edit that out of the video or keep it?
What, my drug addict?
Yeah.
No, I don't care. Keep it in.
Okay, just...
Yeah, I don't. It's fine.
Okay, I just didn't want you I didn't know if you wanted the world to know.
Most people know by now. So I'm a former drug addict, and I was pretty wayward in high school. I was progressively getting worse. I started pretty much my habitual habits when I was 14. Heavy drinking. My drug of choice was methamphetamines, amphetamines in general, Adderall, which is an amphetamine. So I sobered up for a month. Went to this military academy that is down Knightstown, Indiana, which is just close to Indianapolis, about 45 minutes east. And so I sobered up, I went down there, and I dropped out of high school at that point. I've only completed... Oh, you're fine.
I'm just comforting you.
I don't need comfort. I've told this story a million times by myself. So I didn't complete high school. I only finished... I have a GED, but I'm technically, like, at a 9th grade level. If you ask me, like, my high school education, it's 9th grade. But I have a GED. I did schooling there, so I never really fell behind. I just did all my schooling more advancedly, within 6 months, actually. So I went to my military school for 6 months. I lived there. And then I left, it's about 5.5 months. So I left early July. I came back mid-December, about a week and a half before Christmas. I think I reached out to her one more time before I joined the military, right? So I had a 2-year stint from coming out of my school. When I turned 17 shortly after I got out of school. And I joined the military when I was 19, and I got out when I was 22. So I was in the military for 3 years. So during that 2-year stint, I think I only reached out one time, maybe when I was about 18. We didn't really communicate for long. It was whatever. I never informed her until after I was already through basic training, AIT, and at my unit. I got a hold of her, and I let her know, you haven't seen me in 3 years now, but I'm in the Army. She just graduated from school right before I went to basic training. Actually, I left basic training before she graduated.
Yeah, and at this point, I do believe I was with Tim, and Tim was very abusive and toxic to me, and he basically told me that since Josh was an ex when I dated for like that 1 week of 8th grade, and for other reasons, Tim didn't want me contacting Josh at all, and he told me all these lies about who Josh was and why he was a horrible person and that I shouldn't be talking to him.
Apparently I'm a piece of shit.
And what I said to Tim was, can I just text him? Like, he's my old best friend. Can I see what he wants? Can I see how he's like? And the answer was no.
Yeah, and so it kind of was like that for... I think I contacted her maybe a total of 2 times. Usually I was blocked and I had no form of communication.
Sorry.
No.
I did. I was instructed to block him on all platforms, and...
Which, I had my own demons I was battling at that time while I was in the Army. So it was neither here nor there. It didn't bother me. I had enough distractions that I was alright. And then about a month before I got out of the Army, I did contact her again. It took her a little bit to get back to me.
Because I wasn't sure, because I had all these preconceived notions that Tim instilled in my head that you were a bad person. No, literally, every time you texted me, I was getting a new tattoo. So, like, when you texted me in January saying you were coming back, I was getting this one, which is the cover-up of me and Tim's tattoo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was kind of interested in talking to you, but I was telling all my friends at the theater and Parker, like, oh my god, this is kind of creepy. I don't know what he wants. I don't know if he's a bad person, and...
Parker should have swayed most of that. Parker should have told you I wasn't a bad person.
Parker, he was the one that I mostly told, and I don't think he really had an opinion on you. I can't really speak for him or if he watches this video at all, but he was kind of he was understanding of how I felt, but he didn't really try to like change my opinion.
Parker never has. He's not that kind of person.
Yeah, I know.
But then
so when I was saying like, oh my god, Josh is texting me, it feels creepy, I don't know what to do, someone help.
I'm totally a creepy person. But we ended up chitter-chatting a bit here and there while I was down. I was getting ready to come home. I was literally, like I said, a month away. On my way back home, I got back to my house February 18th. That's when when my last day in the military. It's when I got out. It's when I came home. I only lived 6 hours away, so it was a pretty cool, straight drive. So I came home. I relaxed that day because it was, like I said, 6 hour drive. I left in the afternoon. About noon that time, so 1 this time I was an hour behind down there. I got here about 7. I kind of relaxed and I hit her up, and we hung out the day. So the 20th is when we met up.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let's hang out. I gotta go and do this like interview because I was getting a job as soon as I got in here, and I was like, come with me, yada yada yada. We'll go knock this shit out real quick, and then you and me will go like chill. All right.
Yeah.
So I picked her up, and we did this shit, and then we came back to her house.
Yeah, we went back to my house because I was like, we can just hang out at my house. I got a pretty decent sized room. I got a couch and everything. Like, we can just hang out and talk because that's what we mostly wanted to do was like talk to each other because we haven't seen each other in forever.
Yeah, and pretty much the rest is history. From there, shit clicked, and within in a little less, about a week away, we've been dating for over a year.
Yeah.
We'll have been dating for a year.
Because this is coming out close to our anniversary, which is February 20th.
Yeah, so, it's been a wild ride. We've known each other going on 12 years now.
Yes.
No.
11.
11 years
11.
this year. It'll be 11 years this year, because I met her when I was 13.
Yes.
I've lived here in this town for 12 years, in this area for 12 years. So it's been a long 11 years. It's been wild. A lot's happened. A lot will continue to happen. But, that's our story in a nutshell. So, I don't have anything else left that I want to say.
Alright, I guess we can end the video there. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Off.
Yes.